Welcome back, everybody. This video is going to be about the 3 most broken heroes that I am seeing in every single game, their win rates, why they're good, and exactly what people are building, where they're playing them, so that you guys can get a little taste of it yourself. Let's go ahead and get started. So coming in at number 1 most broken hero in 7.33C, my girl Windranger, the absolute most picked hero in my immortal bracket with over 3,000 games, 58.4% win rate, people. What exactly is going on here? Let's talk about it. So here we pulled up 12 minutes into the game of one of the pubs I was playing earlier today. And what makes Windranger so strong is that she is a universal hero. They made it so they get 0.7 damage per each stat that they get, which means one all stat is 2.1 damage. So that means when you buy a crown, that's 8 damage. When you buy another crown, that's another 8 damage. Bracers, that's 9.3 damage. I had to do that math in my head, right? And then, so when we look at this inventory, you would not think, man, that hero hits like a freaking truck. But, as you see here, I am level 8 with pure stat items, 1400 HP on a formerly squishy int ranged hero that lacked damage unless she bought a Maelstrom, who now hits for 132 damage at 12 minutes with that amount of HP. So this was an offlane Windranger. People are playing her mid, offlane, and carry. Really all that varies is how early you buy the Maelstrom. Like carries tend to buy it very early, but all of them are going stats. They're going treads so that they can right-click faster with all the stats that they have. And then we're seeing items like Gleipnir, Diffusal, Manta, Lincoln's, Scotty, pretty much anything that gives you stats. Because guess what? It gives you a shit ton of damage, and then it also makes you very hard to kill. And this is why she has a 58% win rate, people. I absolutely suck at Windranger. Like, let's just look at this history. Cover your eyes, guys. Cover your eyes. Yeah! This was the first time I've played her in this new patch, and I owned. And let me tell you, I sucked at landing shackles, and it didn't freaking matter because with no damage items, my ult shredded cores. So absolutely broken. Get it while it's hot. Next up in the broken hero tier list, we have Spirit Breaker, is the 5th most picked hero in my bracket with 2,700 games nearly and a 55% win rate. So what are people exactly doing on Spirit Breaker? Let's talk about it. And if you guys are asking why now for Spirit Breaker, isn't he the same hero he's always been? His strength gain got increased. Mana cost on charge got reduced. Bulldoze status resistance got increased. Greater bash cooldown decreased. Movement speed to damage increased. Nether strike buffed. This was 7.33C. If you missed this, you'll never look past it again because they literally buffed everything about this hero, and now he is absolutely out of control. I don't know who wrote these notes, but they might need to reconsider keeping him on the job. So Spirit Breaker gameplay isn't exactly something we have to analyze and talk about, but this is a hero that is getting played in the offlane role as well as the 4 position role. So as a support, we're looking more at pretty much purely movement speed based items, while this was more of like a utility 3 position, but I built the exact same items when I played him support. It's phase boots into drums into more movement speed. So in this case, I went bots because we were really far ahead and I was a core, but usually I either upgrade to the boots of bearing, which give even more movement speed. Sometimes I consider solar crest. If I'm having issues getting pick-offs, I go for shadow blade, which gives % base movement speed. It's really important to remember that charge is flat movement speed bonus. And so the best way to stack with it is to give it % base movement speed bonuses. So things like the Boots of Bearing active, the Shadow Blade active, Kaya Yasha, etc. Neutral items like Bullwhip. This is the way to go. Spirit Breaker, the biggest thing about him is that he can go anywhere and not be easy to kill. So what that means is he's all about invading the enemy Wisdom Rune at 7 minutes and 14 minutes, even as a core. Because if they try to take it from you, you just charge through them and leave. You like charge the mid lane on your way out. And then on top of that, what makes Spirit Breaker so strong, on top of everything about the map being super open, global presence and everything, is that 30 movement speed at night makes him moving around the map just that much faster, and it feels like the second you're charged, you have to go back to base or cower with your team, and on a map that's so open, people want to split up, Spearbreaker just simply does not allow that. 55% win rate at my bracket, considered a pub-stomping hero in the sense that capitalizes on noobs who split push. But this hero is just absolutely broken, people. Get it while it's hot. And last but not least, a hero that you guys may not see often in your games. You heard it here first. If you watch competitive, yes, this hero was irrelevant for a week and a half, people. He's back. Batrider. One of the top 10 most picked heroes this patch in my bracket with a 54% win rate. Now, Batrider in the past, let me tell you, it took some finesse. The hero had 40 base damage. He had to CS with sticky. You had to make sure that people were getting sticky napalm applied to them consistently. If you let them dispel your sticky napalm, that meant GG for the laning phase. That meant GG for the mid to late game. If they were able to remove your lasso, that shit was like a 90-second cooldown. This hero used to be somewhat difficult, but now is the absolute best time to get it while it's hot because this hero is simpler than ever. So if we look at the recent patch notes over 7.33 B and C, you'll see that Firefly went from a max of 60 damage to a max of 120 at the start, and they reduced the mana cost, which means you can spam the spell to farm without having to stack a bunch of sticky, and you can also do that to kill heroes on the opponent team. On the other hand, sticky made it so it does less damage and the slow is less, so that's why people are leaning away from sticky napalm. And then on top of that, Flame Break was given 5 seconds at each level and a slow, which makes it a much better one value point at level 1 or 2, making his lane much stronger. And it also means that if you go 4-1-4, Flame Break with just 1 point in it gets those 5 ticks of damage, which really buffs up that sticky. And on top of that, a hero that traditionally had 43 base damage looks like he still has that much. Instead, people with their starting items are just going 2 circlets and 4 branches. Boom, this hero hits for 60 damage. What do you do? What can you possibly do against a Batrider who hits for 60 damage? Now, that's not all, people. So, this is me on carry against one of the top MMR players in all of EU. Divide Llama, top 300. Well, either way, he's in Div 1, so he's pretty good. In the past, Batrider would have to play fair and square. He would have to CS like the rest of us. But now, since he's got 58 base damage and 30 damage on level 1 Firefly, he can just do this. Whoop. And then I don't want to stand in it because it's 30 damage. And he also can still CS with 58 damage. And even though I'm going to get a deny or two on the creep wave, he's absolutely by himself. I can't harass him because the lane's already pushed in. And then by the time the next creep wave gets here, it's underneath my tower. I'm CSing twice underneath my tower, and then the lane pushes into his tower like this. They do some drag crap. And after all that shenanigans, after 2 creep waves, the lane's just pushing into his tower because he forced it so hard into my tower level 1. And my lane's already over. Let's ignore the fact that my Witch Doctor kind of fed, but this is what happens against Batrider every single time. And then, what makes him even more broken than before is when they rework the hero, his lasso, if you look at max level, used to be 110 seconds. And now it's 60. With the talent at 15, it's 50. And guess what item they get to go in lane like every other freaking offlaner wants to go right now? Vanguard. You may be saying, BSJ, Vanguard on a range hero? Are you freaking high? I thought we were paying you with our ad revenue to make us better content. Well, the answer is this, guys. So for those of you who have been living under a rock, you can go Vanguard into Mana Boots and then just go Octarine Core afterwards. And guess what? These 2 components are your Vanguard. This component, which is disassemblable, by the way, this component is your Mana Boots. So all you have left to get after these 2 items, which completely sustain you in lane, this makes you tanky. You already hit hard enough. Now you've got all the mana to spam Firefly that you could ever need. As you see, you buy these items like this, you disassemble, you unlock, you disassemble, you unlock, and suddenly you have an Octarine Core. Batriders are getting this at 10 minutes into the game, people. and then they just go Boots of Travel afterwards, and then usually it's like Blinks and BKBs, potentially Witchblades if you want to do more damage. But the idea is that all your spells are super low cooldown, and even though you don't have the cast range, which used to be really nice as a part of Octarine Core, you have just non-stop unkillable timings in the lane where you dodge fights until you get Vanguard, and then they can't kill you after you get Vanguard, and then you buy mana boots. If you ask your supports to stack for you, this hero can clear Ancients at level 7, even if it's like a 10 stack of Ancients. So people, I'm just telling you as a carry, this hero gets first picked, you don't counter it with Dispels anymore, because he doesn't even level Sticky Napalm. I don't know what kills him. I don't actually know how to beat this hero in lane. My best bet is Bloodseeker, because you can sustain through his consistent harass, and then later you can rupture him. But that doesn't even feel that great. People, these heroes, I promise you, BSJ seal of approval are absolutely broken. Get them now. They will be nerfed, and if they're not nerfed, they're going to be Lina status at the Lima Major, okay? In the next Major, or in Dream League, or in Division 2. Whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.